Alright, Mortarion. Let's paint the guy. Let's get into it because we have a lot to cover. This video is a follow-up on part 1 I shared with you 2 weeks ago. I went through some sort of crisis, a real humility lesson, and today is no different. But now it's time to paint Mortarion. Gotta do it, man. This model is crazy. But I want him done, so I'll use all the time I have after work on this little obsession. He won't defeat me. And you know what? I learned so much. Let's start with Black Primer and think a little about our plan. But if I want a plan, I need to do some research first. I've already set my goals for this project, try to work on my values, set focal points, and try to use different contrasts, light, shadow, cold, and warm. Easy, right? Well, nothing went according to plan, and the model looks nothing like I was anticipating. For my values and focal points, I used Photoshop to plan ahead. I want the eye to focus on the face first, well, on the head. If I then listen to the zenithal light, we'll go for his right shoulder and left knee. This is where I'll have my higher values. Once done, the eye of the viewer should be naturally drawn to these spots. Let's reflect that with the airbrush. The wings are a big part of the model, and even without focusing on them, they'll still be a big part of the model. I want my focal points to be fairly centered, as we also have some glow effects on the plasma gun. Lantern, I think is the name. And on silence. Fitting for such a weapon. Legends say a demon dwells in there. Light mapping is done. Now we need colors. For the armor, I knew I wanted ivory as my bright tone, desaturated but still a bit warm. I wrote that down first. When you have one anchor decision, everything else follows from it. I need a dark tone and a mid-tone, something new for me. Going from dark to light with only 2 colors is generally a bad idea. Shadow and highlights give you contrast, yes, but the mid-tone is what makes your brain believe that the light is actually wrapping around the surface. That's what I really want to work on. I think dark brown from AK should do it, so let's start with that in the shadows. It's desaturated and neutral, and should go well with the rest. For the mid-tone, I went through what I had, and found some decomposed flesh. Let's try that. Pure warm brown straight to pure ivory could look too clean. That slightly sickly mid-tone might make the armor feel ancient and corrupted. Good. So let's get painting. I think those colors were a good choice. The mid-tone here works well, and I hope I'm doing these things in the right order. Paint the armor first, then the cloth. How would you tackle this model? Or maybe you've already painted him? I'd like to know how other painters do it. What order would you do things? And about the cloth, we need to decide what to do with them. I went digging and, of course, I found Richard Gray's version of Mortarion. And this interpretation is insane on so many levels. But we'll focus on his texture and color work on the fabric. Let's try to replicate this recipe with what I have. Again, 3 tones: ocean blue, graphite, and ocean blue with white for the highlights, 50-50. And this time, no airbrush. And you know what? We're going to use the brush a lot more on this channel. I've missed this. Richard Gray was very generous with his recipe, written and video. Awesome guy, and these are colors I've been wanting to try together for a while. It will add, I hope, a touch of cold to the model. Perfect, that's my second contrast. Let's do that to the wings too. I sense this color next to ivory gives me a familiar feeling. At first I couldn't get my hand around it, and then... So let's enjoy a nice, relaxing painting session. And today I decided to rewatch The Lord of the Rings for the 97th time. Alors là, tu tombes, mais à un moment, t'as pas idée. At this point, I started realizing how much I was drifting away from the original idea, focusing on the recipe and using as few paints as possible, values and rich shadows. But you know what? I really love what I did on the fabric. Following a recipe is so relaxing. Not much thinking required, just paint and enjoy, no stress, no doubt. And yes, we are going to use the brush a lot more from now on. Let's paint the tubes with anthracite grey for the base, black wash, and highlight with the base color again, and graphite. That way, I let the null oil work its magic, but bringing down the dark grey first, we bring it back again on the edges, then a bit more with graphite. This allows me to not push the values too high on this part, because I've learned it's not something you always want to do. And this brings me to what I'm slowly learning here. I'm learning about what I don't know yet, what direction I'm slowly taking. Painting this model was a wake-up call. First, and sorry about that, but it turns out I haven't been thinning my paints, like almost at all. Yeah, the wet palette will not do it for you. And I was dumb enough to think otherwise. And that's also because in the past, I've been focusing too much on effects and airbrush techniques. As I said in the first part, starting this hobby with Necrons is cool and all, but it might not be the best way to learn about painting at all. So, too much effects and airbrush, not enough basics. The things I took for granted being 1. Learn to paint what must be painted, aka values, aka how to serve the model. 2. Gradient and glazing with the brush. 3. Lining, do it well and where it matters. I had a tendency to completely ignore this subject. 4. Manage shadows. Give them life, give them rhythm by enriching them. Means the same, but it's important. With these 4 topics mastered, the rest of miniature painting is supposed to be open to you. And one thing that will come then is the definition of my style. I want it to be dramatic. I want to be able to use desaturated colors when I want, but still use special and cool effects. That will come soon. Speaking of effects, take the flesh I tried to create with glue and PVA. I messed it up. By fear of the glue eating away acrylic, I created the effect before painting. I tried to bring it back with alcohol and washes, but it seems I won't be getting much more out of this. So for next time I'll know better and do it at the end. But it's okay, I didn't end up using the effect as flesh, but as melted tube plastic, so it's working for me. Can't win them all, and it's okay. I'm still learning a lot here. I even say I should rejoice for every little failure. Means I'm advancing. Every detail, technique, research. But at this rate, this brings me a question. What's the best way to learn? Fewer, bigger projects to really push? Or more projects focusing on the essential? And with Mortarion today, I think we are more focusing on what's important, with a few exceptions, don't you think? And about that, let's plan our glow effects. Amber is the keyword here. Well, it's the idea I have in mind, but I don't know how to bring this to life. So, more research. I have inks, red, yellow and orange, and if I use orange fluo ink over white, push it more with yellow, then give depth to it with greys, we should be getting somewhere. This must be very warm, but not too much on the yellow side, or I lose the amber look I'm going for. Oh, this means we are finally starting the base. We have a little scene going on there. We'll manage it later with some cold fluo green. It should pair well with amber. This also means we are getting closer and closer to finish our project, and I won't push it too much. I could be painting, retouching, correcting it, pushing more and more for days, but at one point, you have to call it done and move on. I'm curious to have your opinion on this. Again, where do you stop? At what points are you satisfied with your paint job? Once the recipe is done? Once you've learned something new, cracked a technique? Well, let's finish this guy. We are one step closer to... No. We have walked one step. Just one more. And it's perfect. Yes, this project was horrible without sub-assembly. Yes, not everything paid out, but I learned so much. Bad posture, resulting in procrastination. I'll get back to this soon, by the way. Bad paint dilution. No. Abysmal paint dilution. But I'm proud of some of the stuff here, and I think this model will work. As for me, I'm learning so much these days. Time to put it all in practice. And I'll see you in a few weeks for that. As always, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy painting!